If you've ever felt totally overwhelmed by all the information out there on weight management, trust me, you are not alone. So today, we're going to simplify it. We're going to break down the modern medical approach in a way that's clear, supportive, and actually makes sense. We'll look at everything from lifestyle changes to specific science-backed dietary plans. All right, let's get started. Okay, first things first, let's get one thing straight right from the beginning. The way we think and talk about weight has changed, and for the better. It is not a matter of willpower. It's a complex health issue with a lot of different things contributing to it. And, this shift in thinking is so important because it lets us approach this with compassion and with real science, which leads to solutions that actually work and last. And look, this isn't some abstract idea. It affects so many of us, our friends and our families. Right here in Canada, about 1 in every 3 adults is living with obesity. That's a huge number. And it's exactly why understanding all the different paths to managing weight is just so crucial for everyone's health. So, how do doctors approach this now? Well, they treat it like any other chronic condition, like diabetes or high blood pressure. It's not about some quick fix or a fad diet. It's about creating a sustainable, long-term plan. And like any good plan, it has a clear step-by-step structure. This flowchart you're seeing, this is basically our guide for today. It lays out the typical 3-step journey, and we're going to walk through it together. We're going to start right there at the top with that green box. This is the first and honestly the most fundamental step, lifestyle changes. This is the foundation that everything else is built on. So this first step, it's all about building that solid foundation using what we call the 3 pillars of lifestyle modification. Think of these as the core components of pretty much any successful weight management plan, and it's probably the very first thing you'll chat about with your doctor. So what are these 3 pillars? Simple. First, we've got behavioral strategies. That's all about your mindset, your habits. Then there's physical activity, which is just a fancy way of saying move your body. And finally, dietary patterns, what you eat. Let's dig into those first 2 right now. On the behavior side of things, it's all about setting yourself up to win. That means making smart goals. So instead of a vague goal like, I want to exercise more, a smart goal is something like, I'm going to take a brisk 30-minute walk after dinner on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. See how that's specific and totally measurable? And for physical activity, the real secret to making it stick is finding something you actually enjoy. If you hate running, don't run. Walk, dance, swim, whatever works for you. All right, now for that 3rd pillar, diet. And wow, there are a lot of healthy eating plans out there, right? But one of them gets a ton of attention for its absolutely incredible health benefits, especially for your heart. So let's put a spotlight on the Mediterranean diet. Now, it's really important to know that different diets are often designed for different goals. You've got the DASH diet, for example, which was literally created to help lower blood pressure. Then there's the classic low-fat diet, which aims to improve heart health by limiting certain fats. The Mediterranean diet is kind of special because studies show it's fantastic for both heart health and for longevity. So, what does eating the Mediterranean way actually look like? Well, the great news is it's less about strict rules and more about enjoying a huge variety of delicious whole foods. As you can see, it's all about healthy fats from things like olive oil and nuts, tons of fresh fruits and veggies, and getting your protein from things like fish and legumes. It's a way of eating that's super satisfying and also incredibly good for you. And hey, the benefits, they aren't just talk. There is powerful science behind this. One major study found that eating this way can seriously reduce the risk of having a stroke over a 5-year period when you compare it to a traditional low-fat diet. That is a really powerful piece of evidence for how protective this way of eating is for our hearts and our brains. Now, making those lifestyle changes is a huge first step, but for some people, it might not be enough to get them to their health goals. And I get it, that can be incredibly frustrating. But the good news is the journey doesn't just stop there. There are other options when you and your doctor decide more support is needed. Let's go back to our flowchart for a sec. We're now moving down to those yellow and orange boxes. These represent the 2nd and 3rd steps in weight management, medication, and, in some cases, surgery. These are options that come into the picture when lifestyle changes alone just aren't getting the job done, and certain medical criteria are met. So who might be a candidate for these? Well, the conversation often starts with a measure called BMI, or body mass index. And while it's not a perfect measurement for every single person, it's a useful starting point. Generally, medication might be discussed if a person's BMI is 30 or higher, or 27 if they also have other related health issues. Surgery is usually an option for those with a BMI of 40 or more, or 35 if they also have a serious condition like type 2 diabetes. We've just walked through the three main levels of weight management, from lifestyle all the way to medication and surgery. But here's the most important thing to take away from all this. There is no one-size-fits-all answer. Your journey is totally unique, and so your plan should be too. This slide right here, this really gets to the heart of it all. This isn't just about chasing a number on a scale. It's about feeling better. It's about having more energy to do the things you love. It's about improving your overall health for the long haul. The absolute best plan is the one you create with your doctor, a plan that's focused on your personal goals and your well-being. So, after hearing all this, the big question is, what's the right next step for your health journey? Whatever your answer might be, the most powerful step you can take is to simply start a conversation with your healthcare provider. They're your partner in this. They can help you navigate all these options and build a plan that's perfect for you. Thanks for joining me, and here's to your health.